We're live. Yeah, let's post the link into IRC. Okay, we are live. Synergy does not always do such a great job at bringing the clipboard over.
Are you using the free version?
No, I mean yes. I mean all the versions are free, right? There's nothing.
Well, you can pay money and download executables compiled off of the official website,
That's what
and
I do.
those executables are the most up-to-date versions. And I used to have clipboard trouble, but it went away recently when I upgraded.
Yeah, I pay the whatever $12, whatever it is, some ridiculously low fee.
Yeah, I think it's like a
All right.
lifetime.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Episode 40, man.
I know I'm feeling old.
End of the year is sneaking up on us. You know, 52 would mark 1 year of doing this. 52 weeks of nonstop. It's going to be tough to. It's going to be tough though to get through the Christmas week. I don't know how we're going to do it. Although we did it for Thanksgiving, so it'll be interesting. We haven't missed a week yet. Oh, yeah, we've put out an episode a week.
Yeah, it'll be hard when I move, because that's going to be like a 2-week process. I'm going to have some kind of intermediary setup.
When's that happening? January, February?
Mid-February.
Mid-February. You guys looking at places yet?
Oh yeah, we're trying to lock down a place as soon as possible. The renters are just starting to list the stuff that's going to be available in February, so
Nice.
it's getting close.
I'm gonna miss you, buddy. I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too. Oh, you'll still see me every week here.
Yeah, I got that to look forward to.
I started feeling the lack of meetups today. I was finished putting the kids to bed, and I thought, oh God, I'm forgetting something. I must be forgetting something. I haven't been to a meetup in like a month. And I remembered, like, oh yeah, no, we're not doing one until January. But I got that itch inside me that's like, oh yeah, you should leave the house.
Yeah, because we normally do our little pregame and get together and co-work together for a couple hours. So yeah, we're missing that this month altogether.
Yeah, we might have to pull that off anyways, even if we don't have a meetup.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our January meetup with the Laravel group and speaking with Adam Wathen. That's going to be fun.
You're not going to be there for that one, don't forget.
I think I will be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was running the numbers with my wife, and we actually get back into the country here. We should be back here in Long Beach that morning, Thursday morning at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So all I have to do is, get back down from Long Beach and get the family home and put away, and
take a nap.
Muster up enough energy to to come down to the meetup. But I think I'm gonna make it. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful I'm gonna make it.
You have to drink Red Bull and vodka instead of beer.
There you go. We'll have one more meetup together before you bail on me.
Yeah. But hey, I'm excited. I'm anticipating it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Keep looking at houses that are bigger than my parents' house.
Yeah. I did Lara chat today.
I saw that.
Did you really? Did you watch it?
I saw the tweets about it.
Didn't tell me I was wearing my glasses. Oh, no, you didn't watch it. Thanks for boosting me up and then knocking me off.
I was gonna watch it, but I was dead asleep.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some pretty exciting things happening over at Lair Chat. Again, I've been working a lot with Sean on it, and recently I helped them get on iTunes and all that. But we announced today that starting next year, we're going to try to make a regular rotation of guests. So we start off the year with Taylor Otwell.
Really?
The next show we're going to have Jeffrey Way.
So the same guest twice in a row for the first 2 months.
You're killing me on this one. And then in February, we're going to bounce over to Eric Burns, the guy who runs Laravel News. And then I spoke to Adam Wathen, and he's going to go ahead and follow up with us in February and do a show there. And we've got a long list of other guests we're going to reach out to. I don't want to schedule people too far in advance because it's kind of hard for people to plan that far down the road. But yeah, I think we definitely have enough people on our list where if even half of them agree, we should have kind of a special guest every show next year. And
very nice.
Yeah, and the other thing I pitched to the guys over at Laird Chat is I also want to start reaching out to Laravel user group organizers and having them on the show as well, and giving them kind of a platform to discuss their user group and the interesting things they're doing and what piqued their interest in Laravel, and just kind of getting that whole community vibe going over there.
Speaking of Laravel user groups, you see about this new Laravel conference in Pakistan?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. That's really cool, right? I mean, it really kind of shows what a global impact Laravel is having in the development community. Because, I mean, we've had Laravel US, Laravel EU, which is not run by Laravel US. Taylor Otwell doesn't run Laravel EU. A whole nother group runs that.
Yeah.
Had those running for a couple of years. This year, there was a Laravel conference in Brazil. We talked about that a couple of shows back. And now we're here. Pakistan has a conference they're going to have. So I tell you, it's an impactful framework.
Yeah, it's surprising how fast it's taken off internationally to me. I wonder if there is something similar to Laracasts in all the other languages that are creating this.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, is there a Jeffrey Way over in Pakistan?
He's everywhere. Jeffrey Way is a global influencer. Poor guy works too much, though.
Well, since we are talking about Laravel, did you see? There's a lot of talking about Laravel 5.4, right? That's the next big version that Taylor's working on, and they released a little sneak peek of some changes they're looking to make to routing. Did you take a look at that article?
Yeah, and it's interesting. The article's titled "Route Improvements Are Coming to Laravel 5.4," but it's really better described as bug fixes in my book.
Really? See, it's funny because I looked at it and I'm actually not a fan of the new format, because I like looking at my routes and seeing get post resource. Just it seems like very organized. What's being proposed is moving a lot of that the action deeper into the route, and I don't know. It's just I don't know if I'm a fan of that format.
Well, I think the big change is that it's allowing methods like name and middleware to be called at any point in defining the route, as opposed to after defining the route's URL. So,
but what does that? What do you think that gets you?
like I said, to me, it's a bug fix. To me, all the methods of the route should return themselves, should return this. And they weren't before. They were making modifications to an object instead of returning the object with modifications. So to me, it's just fixes. But there also is a good amount of route caching improvements as well, which to me is nice because that is one of the performance hits with Laravel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That reminds me. I've talked to you about Laravel Shift in the past.
Yeah,
that's that service that will automatically upgrade a Laravel app for you. I used it this week.
Really? How'd it go?
It seems to went okay. I have to actually test it. I went to the site. It was a Laravel 5.2. I requested to upgrade it to 5.3. I paid I think $9 is what it is. Gave them access to the repo, and before I could finish clicking through everything, I had a pull request waiting for me in the repo, and everything's there. I mean, it's pretty well detailed, pretty well outlined. I need to kind of read through everything and understand, because there were some things that it was kind of bringing to your attention and asking you to take a look at. So
yeah.
So I still have to do that, but it looked promising. It looks real promising, and it's funny. I was just for the Lair Chat show. We were talking about everything that happened in 2016, and we were kind of doing like a recap. And I realized that Laravel Shift was just deployed in 2016, and they're already touting that they migrated over 1,000 applications. So that's pretty nice little success story for that guy.
Yeah, that's not. I wonder how automated that process is at this point.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be. I'm sure it's got to be super automated.
Yeah. Well, speaking of all these things that have happened in 2016, unfortunately, America has lost a hero. Another hero.
This time a true hero, right?
A true hero.
Yeah.
John Glenn, the first astronaut to circumnavigate the globe in outer space, did pass away.
Yeah. Fun fact: the movie Independence Day was based on his life. No, was it Independence Day?
No, I think it was Independence
Will
Day
Smith?
Resurgence.
Will
No, this is
Smith's
the
character?
sequel.
Oh, but yeah, cool guy. I mean, a man with balls, without question.
Yeah.
He did something nobody else had done. It was yeah. Yep. I was sad to see that today.
Yep. So I'm having a beer in his honor. I'm actually having a couple beers in his honor.
A couple beers.
Couple beers.
Oh, you know what else happened? Did we talk about 7.1? Yeah, we talked about that last week, right? Yeah, 7.1 was released last week. Do you realize that it was released a couple days shy of a year from 7.0?
Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy because I think 7.1 got released on December 1st, and 7.0 got released on December 3rd, or vice versa. I forget, but very very close to each other. So yeah, that was real good.
Yeah, I think that was the time we started talking about getting the podcast together.
Yeah, I had that too. I had looked that up. I forget when we did our first show. I think we did our first show like 40 weeks ago. What was
Something
that?
Close to that.
Yeah, I think it was
remember
March. It was March. Actually, it wasn't a Thursday. It was a Saturday. We started on Saturday.
Oh God, we screwed everything up. That explains the quick decline in quality.
That's right.
Yeah, so Homestead 4.0 gets PHP 7.1, but it also comes with some sad news from Taylor.
Not necessarily sad. It's actually good news. I mean, it's a it's a very well used tool. That's for sure.
Yeah, 64 terabytes of data hosted just for Homestead. So it looks like the provider that he was hosting Homestead off of decided, hey, you know what? We can't quite carry this anymore.
This is more work than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
that's got to be something.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, 64 terabytes. I install Homestead. I do a fresh install of Homestead maybe every 2 months.
Yeah.
So
obviously you found a home for it because they released version 4.
Well, we'll see. I think he's got offers from some people for discounted hosting and things like that. But I don't think there's any concern about Homestead going away anytime soon. It's just that he needs a home for hosting 64 terabytes and growing of his development environment. That's got to be pretty nice though when you create a development environment for yourself and everyone else wants it so much that you have to find somewhere to host it professionally.
Yeah. Let's see.
So what else? What else you got on here?
I'm curious about this card that you put on here. How can the PHP manual improve?
Yeah, this was a conversation that I sort of hopped into on Reddit because to me it seemed like a boring question.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought about it and I'm like, oh wait, no, you know what? So the PHP manual hasn't really changed at all in, let's say, 10 years.
Oh, I don't think that's true at all. The PHP.net got a major revamp. I would say 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah, no, it got a major overhaul, and that included the docs at the time.
So whenever I think of the PHP documentation, I think of this sort of 90s off blue square divs or tables even.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look a whole lot different than it ever did, and the documentation is very API documentation. It's just this is what it is. This is how you call it. There aren't a lot of examples until you start getting into the comment section. Let's see, array flip. It's the method name, the values returned, the values as arguments, and then an example, not 2 examples. But it doesn't give you a really valuable context for it until you start looking through all of the comments, which are, 9 years ago was the comment on array flip.
Well, there's not a whole lot to change it with array flip.
There's not a whole lot to change, but there's definitely uses that could be given as great examples that you aren't going to see anywhere outside of Stack Exchange. You know what I mean?
So what sort of, were there any good recommendations? What was being proposed?
One of the major upvoted proposals was versioning similar to the Symfony docs. Being able to choose your version and only get results relating to that version. Right now in PHP, you'll get a list of supported versions for any given method that you look up.
Yeah.
So
that was always annoying because if you didn't pay attention, Yeah, something could have been deprecated or no longer in use, and if you didn't pay attention, it's still there in the docs. It's just not a supported version on whatever version you're on, and you have to know to look for that.
Yeah. And then, the second most popular comment here is more examples, better examples, copy and pastable examples, which I'm actually not a fan of copying and pasting directly from the web.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like that's some new person saying, "Hey, why do I have to do this print already? Or why do I have to do a for each? Why don't you guys just do it for me? Let me copy and paste it."
Yeah. Outside of that, trimming the fat, a lot of the stuff that's irrelevant or old or bad.
That's how I feel about a lot of the comments on there. I'll read through the docs every now and then. There's just, like I said, there are comments from 10 years ago that just don't really seem relevant, or just seem to be poor comments to begin with. It's like, what? Okay, why is this comment even here? And it definitely could use some housekeeping.
Well, I mean, a good example is the way that the list functionality has changed in PHP 7.1. You don't see that referenced into the documentation.
Mm-hmm.
The list method is there, but all of the new functionality for list isn't there.
So the new bracket syntax isn't there?
Yeah, the new bracket syntax isn't there, or if it is, it's just buried. I don't see it. And you look at comments from 10 years ago, and they're showing you how to do something with a giant block of code that is replaced by a method in PHP 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
flushing out that comments and turning comments into official documentation might be something. If a comment is good enough, make it an official registered comment or something.
That would be a good approach. That would be a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone likes it when somebody with the air of authority, whether or not it's real, gives the thumbs up to a comment and says, "Yeah, this guy got it right."
I'm not looking at the site now. Clearly, you're on there. Is there voting on the comments now?
There is voting on the comments,
Okay.
But
Couldn't remember.
it's just an up or down, and it doesn't thread. So you'll see comments in reply to comments, but they're all in line, and you can have a person commenting from 1 month ago to something that they saw that was posted 5 years ago, and no one realizes what the two are related to or who cares.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for list, the top voted comment has 54 votes total. Or I'm sorry, 54 votes up, and a 67% like. I mean, that's 100 people have voted on the top thing in the list method. That seems strikingly low for the number of people that are using this website on a daily basis.
Yes, I just randomly clicked on something and I'm seeing a block of code that was downvoted, and it has a score of -17. And it's like, okay, why is this still on here? I mean, why is something? Hey, I need to change my username before I give you that link, though. Oh, wait, what? No, that's not me. Oh, never mind. What?
Big boob lover.
Yeah, no, yeah. There are several comment blocks here that have a lot of negative votes to them, and it's just don't waste
and
time.
there are some that are positive that have no formatting, no coloring, no helpful layout whatsoever. It's just a copy and paste of block of code.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things about Stack Overflow is they put all the effort into making sure things are formatted correctly and that you could put nice looking code in place. But PHP.net is just like, yeah, black and white text, paste it in here. If you had tabs and spaces, we'll just truncate it to whatever we thought it should be.
Yeah. And now you posted another PHP story on here.
I know, I've gone PHP crazy.
You have. It's like you want to do this for a living or something. What's this? They're trying to double their speed again?
Not trying to, man. No, I'm not seeing a lot of commentary about this right now because this is the PHP 8 slash PHP Next engine.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that was initially going to be implemented into the 7 branch, but got removed for the sake of getting 7 stable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a just-in-time compiler or a JIT compiler.
Right.
And
so what's the target? Are they targeting it for 7.2 now?
They're targeting it for 8, or PHP Next as it's being called internally. Actually, I'm sorry, internally it's being called the experimental JIT branch. So it's not being tied to anything. It's only focusing on getting a JIT compiler in there. That's it.
Okay. All right. So
So
they're not gonna try to force this thing in and any release. It's just gonna be whenever it's ready, and we'll streamline it into the next release.
yeah. So given a couple different benchmarks, and we'll have the link in the show notes. But there's bench, microbench, and Mandelbrot, and I think everyone knows what a Mandelbrot bench would look like. So no,
I have
you
no
don't.
idea.
Mandelbrot fractal calculation.
Oh well, you didn't say it was a Mandelbrot fractal calculation. Now I have absolutely no idea what you're talking
It's a
about.
fractal. It's drawing a fractal.
Okay, you're a fractal.
I am.
You're a fractal of my
We
existence.
all technically are.
Mm.
So let's looking at bench.php. 5.6 was getting it done in 1.798 seconds. Well, 7.0 brought that to 0.67 seconds. So that was a 62% gain. The experimental JIT branch brings that down to 0.208, which is another 54% gain in performance.
Wow, that's pretty significant.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, the micro bench, a 35% gain over PHP 7.1, and the Mandelbrot, a 49.28% improvement over 7.1. I mean, it's just getting faster and faster and faster. And at this point, it looks like it's going to be beating out all of the HHVM and other experimental branches or offshoots, forks of PHP.
Is HHVM still a thing?
I think 7 is killing it pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't hear talked about nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah, me neither.
Hmm.
I think there was a Reddit thread about that too. Is HHVM still a thing? Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited about this. This is
You've been talking about the JIT thing for a while. I know you're excited about the JIT.
I have. It's handy dandy.
It's going to be interesting to see it release and functional and really working, but I don't know. I can't get too excited about it. My biggest thing is, I don't know. I mean, with so much stuff happening over the web, you're talking about fractions of a second, which get lost in bandwidth.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is math tests.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nice to see, PHP 5.05 completing in 8.65 seconds versus the newest branch completing in 0.208 seconds.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it is fractions of a second when you compare 7.1 to the JIT branch, but
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the whole picture over the years, this is how you continue to refine a language. This is how a language continues to be relevant in a time when people are using stuff like Node because it's faster.
That's
Guess
true.
what? Node's not faster anymore. It hasn't been faster since 7.1, and it's going to be considered slower once the JIT branch comes out.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we are making that progress.
There's something to be said about the resilience. Is that a word? Resilience.
Resilience.
Yes, of PHP. That it's there have been many who have come who have challenged, and doesn't ever seem to quite stay.
Yeah, I still see all the PHP hate that's out there, but now when I see it, I just sort of think, oh yeah, haters gonna hate. That's what you're gonna do. You had to learn 4 languages in the time that I've been able to stay on one language and watch it get better and better.
Exactly. So we have a little
Ruby
bit
guys
more.
are doing right now.
What's that?
Ruby developers, they're all working on Node.
I thought they were the guys moving over to Elixir or whatever the new cool thing is.
Go or Haskell.
Yeah, Haskell, that's the other one. Yeah, Haskell's a big one.
No, I'll stick with PHP. It's keeps getting better.
It's always you're always gonna need a PHP developer. I don't see that changing anytime in the near future. Speaking of, we still have some Laravel news. Did you see that Taylor announced he's going to change the release cycles of Laravel?
I did. I didn't realize there was an existing release cycle.
Oh yeah. I know that he definitely had mentioned it at the last Laravel conference, Laracon, and I think that the changes he's made actually does kind of play into that. I think he's moved the release cycle so that they better line up with the Laracon conference, and
but which one?
So yeah, Laracon US, man, the one that's going to be here in San Diego in 2018.
Once everyone realizes how much they hate New York.
I'm really hoping. I'm gonna bend his ear about it when he's on Larachat next month. I'm not gonna let him off the hook. It's probably gonna be my last show for Larachat because they're gonna kick me off.
So this week we did our release. And the crunch has ended. You know what I've been working on?
Your CMS?
Yeah. All week. I've just been testing. I've just been writing tests and reading.
Hey, I talked to your boss today, and I dropped a hint in his ear about purchasing that Adam Wathan test series for you guys.
Oh, I already told him to buy it for me.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I 2 days ago I emailed him a list of all the books I want.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
My boss, the certified bad boy of coding. Have you heard about this?
No, what's this?
Oh man. He loses something like 50 pounds, gets a motorcycle. You know what he did this weekend?
No, what?
Skydiving.
Oh, God. This guy.
Yeah. wants to get his solo license so he can skydive without a tandem partner.
Holy crap!
He's just working up the most badass Tinder profile ever.
Yeah, your boss is somewhat of a badass, so you got to give it to him.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of testing all this stuff that I've been developing while I should have been writing tests, and I see this PHPStan. Have you seen this?
I did. It's funny. It's one of the links. You and I both posted a link in Trello, and so yeah, I looked at the article. I tried pulling it in on one of my projects, but had some dependency issues and didn't work through them.
Yeah, so that was my first problem.
Oh, okay.
My first problem was that I wanted to run this on my project. What this is an advanced linter, basically. Linting is something that just checks and makes sure that your code is sane, that it'll execute, that there's no fatal. Well, this goes through and makes sure that when you're calling all of your methods, you have the right argument counts, or when you're calling server globals, you're calling them the right way. So it takes common sense, the kind of stuff that your IDE is going to pop out and say, hey, this doesn't look right, and it's going to pop it out in a command line like a PHP unit would. So it's sort of a skeleton for unit testing. It's a good place to start. But yeah, you and me, we're Laravel people, and Laravel has a PHP parser that it likes to use for reflection, and this package just wants a newer version that Laravel doesn't want. So unable to use it, unable to get it working. It looks like it's gonna need to get compiled into a FAR or something because it did not want to be installed on my project.
So yeah, I was trying to pull mine in on a PHP project as well. So that's interesting. Yeah, like I said, I haven't had a chance to look at it. Now, what's funny is, in the consulting gig that I live in, you not so much, but when we take on new clients, one of the things we do is some of our clients have legacy code bases that we have to decide if we want to take on and maintain. And we have certain tools that we run against these code bases to get an idea. So there are a lot of these tools out there. The big one that we'll use is called PHP which stands for mess detection, PHP mess detection. And it does a lot of that sort of same stuff. There's another one that looks for duplicate code, and there's a few tools that will run out there. But I'm real interested in this one because this one, so those tools will call out things that will not necessarily be broken, just are bad practices, aren't very well defined, should not really be done this way, sort of thing.
Sure.
This tool will call out things that are potentially broken. Like, you can go straight to a client and say, this section of your code doesn't seem to work. Did you realize that? So I'm real curious to see this.
There's a place here. There's an else statement that will never get called because you're putting in a true here or something like that, or you have
exactly.
You have PHP info getting dumped out on a public page. So, yeah, I really like Mess Detector, and it's a great tool to learn because it points out a lot of the things that you may not know as a beginning programmer are bad practices. Nesting depth, variable naming consistency, things like that. Mess Detector is cool. You load up PSR, basically. You load up your coding standard into it, and then it verifies that all your code meets the coding standard. So it can be a really, really helpful tool for taking new developers and bringing them into the fold on a project.
Yeah. I configure my PHP Storm to use it, and it's a couple. What's the other one's PHP Code Sniffer is another one that's out there that you can use. So.
Yeah.
All good tools.
Now,
Thomas, did you ever get into? Go ahead.
I have to address the elephant not in the room. John.
You really shouldn't be talking about John like that.
They say you have a couple kids, you start to put on weight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I haven't seen it forever.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
I swear, when we first started meeting up, every single time I saw John and you both had a new smartwatch. Like
This is true.
you guys are smartwatch nuts. And
We
thankfully you haven't fallen for the Apple Watch thing, but you've had basically every other smartwatch out there, including the first smartwatch, the Pebble.
we had the Pebble. It's not only smartwatches; it was wearables, right? I had the Pebble. Our buddy Robert over at business.com at the time got me hooked on the Fitbit. I got myself a little Fitbit. Ended up getting a Moto 360, but I saw an article come across the wire, and at first I was really excited about it. Fitbit ended up buying Pebble, and if you're not aware, Pebble, they were like the poster child of the crowdfunding movement, right? I mean, they were like the really first breakthrough success company that came out of crowdfunding. And I think they got crowdfunded on Kickstarter. So they were the ones that showed that, hey, crowdfunding works. You give people have an idea, you give them money, they make that idea, everybody gets the product, everybody's happy. There's this new product, and blah blah blah. And when I saw Fitbit bought them, I'm like, okay, that sort of makes sense, right? Because all the other major players in wearable computers have their brand. Samsung has their brand. A lot of people are using Android Wear. Fitbit, although they had a device, didn't really seem like it was really up to snuff with the other wearable systems out there.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this seems to make some sense. Fitbit bought Pebble. They're going to make a better smartwatch.
And I love the Pebble OS.
Yeah, Pebble OS. What are you talking?
The Pebble, the operating system that they use.
What?
I love my Pebble.
You
it's
like
a great
your Pebble?
OS. Yeah.
Oh, the Pebble. Yeah, the Pebble. I'm sorry. I was
Where are
totally
you?
blanking out there. I was thinking you're talking about Fitbit. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, yeah. I don't really care for Fitbit.
Did you hear that they're shutting down Pebble?
Yeah, totally shuttering the thing.
What the hell?
And they had just
What's the
launched a
launch
campaign.
there?
They had just launched a campaign for a new watch that's basically just going to get pulled.
Can you explain this to me? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Why did they purchase them to shut them down?
Intellectual property patents.
Really?
They don't. Yeah. Pebble's not making a ton of money. They're doing all right, and it costs less money for Fitbit to license a patent than it is to buy the company, so they just bought the company and shut it down. Why keep it running? Corporations are soulless. They don't care about the quality of the product or the people are happy with it or not. They just care about whether or not it's continuing to make money, and so they're just going to make money the best way they can.
So you don't think that there's not going to be another smartwatch? Like Pebble isn't going to come out with a smartwatch?
Nah. I think you'll see the founders of Pebble move on and possibly create a new smartwatch company. It depends on their drive to provide the interface that they want to provide. But no, and I think practicality dictates that the smartwatch is dead for 5 years. There are technologies in the pipeline that will make the smartwatch viable. Graphene polymer batteries, thinner e-ink based with a faster refresh rate screen, things like that. But the smartwatch, in my opinion, was a technology being pushed too hard too soon for what it was really capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got things coming down the pipeline that are truly amazing, like the new batteries. Have you heard about the new battery technology this week? Of a spent radioactive fuel encapsulated in a man-made diamond.
No. Where do you get these articles? Where do you get these things from, man?
Yes, science journals. So
No,
this is a new functional technology that was developed. They take spent radioactive fuel and they grow a diamond around it. The density of the diamond prevents the radiation from getting out, but the structure of the carbon creates a voltage through the diamond. So you put it in a device, and the device gets powered for a couple hundred years without emitting radiation. And it uses spent nuclear fuel.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have some marketing challenges with that one.
You don't have to market it; it sells itself. You can put it in a pacemaker that'll never, ever, ever die.
Until your nipples start to glow as you try to sleep at night. Sleep because your nipples are glowing.
Added bonuses. Glowing nipples and a heart that doesn't stop.
And a heart that doesn't stop, huh? I guess if my nipples glowed, I wouldn't want my heart stopping anytime soon.
You know what? For me, it's more for my wife. I don't really care about the luminosity of my nipples, but she's a big fan.
She's a fan. Hey, because of technology today,
we got to stop segueing with hey. Hey, you know what?
True.
You know what just struck me? We say hey too much. What are some other words for hey?
Hey. It's for horses. Oh man, I'm tired.
You're listening to the Dad
I'm tired. Oh jeez.
I could tell you're tired. You're not drinking.
I've had 3 glasses of actually I'm a little lit, to be honest with you. I've had 3 glasses of my Johnny Walker Black, and that third one I hit it a little too quick.
It's got some pants on it.
Pants is exactly what I was getting ready to talk about. Actually,
see, that's how you do
technology. Thanks to technology, I was able to achieve one of my lifelong goals of going Christmas shopping without wearing pants. And
nice.
It was so pleasant to be able to do this. And I was able to do it through the power of Amazon.
This is the Amazon Go store? That's a physical store. You went into a physical store without pants on?
Dude, I'm getting there. Way to step all over me. Way to step all over me.
I'm just concerned that you're now wandering around in public without pants on.
Oh, I'm not running. Jesus. My other fantasy has been wanting to walk into a store and walk out without paying anybody for the stuff. And now
that would be nice. Yeah.
See where I was going with that?
Yeah. Fantasy.
It's dead now. Amazon has opened a brick and mortar store called Amazon Go. Looks like the coolest thing ever. You walk into the store with your smartphone, you beep in, you walk around the store, you pick up whatever you want, and you walk out. You don't stand in line, you don't pay any cash register, you just walk out. Supposedly, with the proximity detectors and algorithms and all this other stuff, you don't even
NFC and
yeah, it figures out what you bought, and as soon as you walk out the store, you're charged for it all. I mean it. I watched the video. I'm like, that is the slickest thing ever. It'll never work because somebody's going to hack this in like a week.
Yeah, guys, this will never work for 100 reasons. I can't imagine what their shrinkage is going to look like.
Yeah,
I mean, Amazon. That's the thing. Amazon isn't going to care. This is a test bed for Amazon, and they're not going to care if they lost 100% of the investment in this one physical store in Washington. They're not going to care at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they do want to figure out the market viability for such a thing. Yeah. I don't know.
Because my wife was just complaining to me. When you get around Christmas time, like after Black Friday until Christmas, the big Walmart stores here in the U.S., they're open 24/7.
Yeah.
And so my wife takes advantage of that because she works really weird hours. I mean, she works at night, and so for her to go to the store at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning is easy for her because she's up, she's working, she's doing things. So she'll go to these stores at 5 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody there. And she said that this year, when she did that, the problem was that you go and there are no cash. There are no cashiers. Your only option for checking out is doing the self checkout. And I'm thinking to myself, man, that is crap. You know, it's crap. And you know, she doesn't like doing the self checkout. She'll get a lot of things. She doesn't, you know, she doesn't want to figure out how she's supposed to ring in her apples or things like that.
Sure.
But
well, the apples are free when you do self checkout.
but if she didn't have to do the self checkout, you know, if all she had to do was walk out the door, how great would that be? I mean, that would be awesome. I would love for this to work. I would love for this to be successful. I don't see it being successful.
But see, my question is, I want to stand outside that front door and ask everyone who's leaving, hey, does it feel really uncomfortable? Just ask them, like, yeah, you put it in your purse. I saw you just put that bagel in your purse. Does it make you feel weird?
You know,
Because
that seems legitimate, yeah. Because we have been socially engineered in you know, molded to not do. I mean, it's like walking up to a barrier on a sidewalk. So somebody puts up a barrier, you're triggered not to question that barrier, even if you can look beyond it and say, oh no, the sidewalk is fine. There's a population of us that will not challenge that barrier.
Sure.
And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, well, you're not supposed to be doing this.
Even teenagers. I was a teenager. I worked at 7-Eleven, and I'll tell you, even teenagers who you think are the ones that'll have no problem breaking these rules, I'd give my friends a water cup and say, yeah, go ahead and fill it up with soda. I don't care. And they'd look at me like, I know, that's weird. I can't do that.
Yeah.
You just give me a regular cup? I'm like, no, you can only have the water cups. They count the regular cups. Like, I'll just have water then. It's like, yeah, when you tell people that the rules don't apply to them in this way, they still feel super awkward walking out of the store.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just as much a social experiment as it is a financial experiment for them, because yeah, I know I wouldn't be comfortable putting stuff into a backpack and then just walking out the front door.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, there were no bags. People just put them in your pocket, your jacket pocket, and you walk out the door. It's crazy.
And you know, I think the small fine print here is that this store in Washington that they have a big full page for and lots of videos and stock photos. At the bottom, it does say Amazon Go is currently open to Amazon employees in our beta program. So
I didn't catch that. So that's good.
This as much as they're marketing this thing, they're marketing it and saying you don't get it though. It's not for you. You don't work for us. If you worked for us, maybe we'd let you pretend to steal stuff from the store. See, I'm just gonna start stocking my pantry this way. I'm gonna have to put things in my backpack whenever I take them out of the pantry and move them to the counter. I get that same feeling out of it. So I tricked you.
I know.
I saved my doom and gloom. I saved my doom and gloom article. I didn't put it on Trello, so you couldn't see it and remove it before we got to it.
You suck.
Yeah.
You got 30 seconds.
30
You're wasting
seconds. Hold on. Put a break in here. I gotta go get a beer and untangle my headphone cord.
Holy crap. Go ahead.
Alrighty.
Just lead into it however you want to lead into it. We'll cut it together.
So, have you heard of the UK Investigatory Powers Act?
I can't say I have.
The common name here is the Snoopers Charter. And it basically takes all of the crazy things that we know governments do but say they don't do and makes it an official stance in the UK. So, tracking of all internet behavior, banning of content that's deemed inappropriate by committees, including what I believe they called irregular sexual acts. So,
oh, I did hear about this.
yeah. So
I actually thought about you when I heard about this.
thanks. you hear irregular sexual acts, and I immediately jump to your mind. That's good.
There you go. You're in the shower. Oh wait, no, because of your work, man.
Well, yeah, but what is the definition here? There's no definition. It's just a legal statement that outlaws irregular sexual acts on video.
Actually, I did hear some pretty explicit definitions. I don't care to repeat them, but yeah, there was some definitions in there.
Well, the latest concern is an analysis by the Register, which is a UK IT rag. I call it a rag because, boy, they are the BuzzFeed of the UK, and they have been for 15 years. They go a little bit over the top sometimes. But they've broken down this law and decided that the law compels people to lie about what they are investigating or convicting people on to the courts.
Mm-hmm.
So officers who are operating under the work of this new regulatory act are required to lie to the courts, or I say a duty. They say here creates a legally guaranteed ability, nay, a duty to lie about even the potential for state hacking to take place. So when a judge says, "Are you going to hack a person's email account?" then this law says you can just say no, we're not gonna, and then go ahead and do it. It's I only bring it up because I worry about the people who are like us, who are in charge of data, not being scared by this stuff, because users aren't necessarily even aware, let alone concerned. I go to Amazon and it gives me my recommended purchases list. It says, "Hey, you're interested in batteries for your e-cigarette. You should check out this stuff." Well, I've never ever bought batteries for my e-cigarette from Amazon. Amazon is hooked into other platforms for advertisements. So when your company is using a payment gateway to sell batteries, you're also inadvertently letting Amazon know, hey, this person is interested in batteries, whether or not you're even hooked up to an Amazon service that you think you're hooked up to. And this is the kind of thing that is going to be explicitly done by the government to control whether or not this person is interested in something that they don't decide is good or that connects them surreptitiously to some crime that's been committed. And the next step for this kind of thing is copyright infringement. People who are pirating music getting arrested and tried by corporate courts. So I think the people like us who are in charge of data, that are in charge of users' information, need to be aware of this kind of stuff and need to take the steps to make sure that people we don't like don't get our users' data from us. I don't know. Do you have thoughts on that?
No, I agree
That's
with
my
you.
soapbox.
I think that's your soapbox. I think as developers, we have a duty to help maintain the front line of users' security and anonymity and privacy. The problem is you're always going to have developers who don't care. You'll always have
Sure.
developers who will do whatever it is they want to do for whoever will pay them to do it. So, yeah, it's funny. You say you log into Amazon and ask you about your e-cigarette batteries. See, I log into Amazon and it just says, Eric, could you please start wearing pants when you shop with us? We're all kind of uncomfortable over here. I'm like, stop looking at my camera, man.
I'm really curious about what Amazon is going to do when I move to Colorado. What Amazon and Google, because Amazon and Google. I mean, I've been here for 34 years. What is gonna happen when some algorithm realizes I've moved? How long is it going to take until I start getting bombarded with new local stuff instead of stuff that relates to my old place? I'm guessing it'll only take about a week before all of the algorithms click in and realize I've moved.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fucking terrifying. That's scary.
Actually, it happens pretty quickly because I mean I've been at conferences or I've been on vacation and Google's popping up with recommendations. I mean, within a day, it's crazy.
Well, we were talking about the Pebble. I had my Pebble on for my flight to Louisville for Laracon last year, and as soon as my flight got low enough to pick up a cell phone signal, my watch started buzzing, and it told me that my flight was delayed from landing by 15 minutes. And I just went, what? But I didn't enter in any kind of information or notification. Said, no, it was Google Now. Google said, oh, you got an email that has a flight number in it. We took that flight number, we cross-referenced it with flights in the United States, and we're letting you know that that flight number is going to be delayed by 15 minutes. And I'm like, I didn't ask you to do that.
Yeah.
So what else am I not asking you to do that you're doing entirely of your own volition? And I mean, this is the metadata talk, when someone says, oh, I'm just using metadata. Well, yeah, metadata is all you need. Metadata tells you everything you could possibly want to know. Scary stuff, man.
Yep. Scary.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Mr. Doom and Gloom.
I still use Google. Still use Gmail. I'm selling my convenience.
Mm. All right, man. Well, we're at an hour and 10 minutes here, so we're gonna need to wrap this up if we're gonna let the editors get to it.
Yeah. But do we have any closing thoughts?
Oh man, my closing thought is not to drink so much before I do a podcast and drink during the podcast. I feel like I do a better job that way.
Well, see, I think you did great. I'm your biggest fan.
You're my buddy.
You're my buddy. We still got to get together and see a movie. I saw Snowden came out on DVD, and I just went, "Oh shit!"
That was quick, right?
Yeah. It's like, because I remember we were supposed to go see Snowden in theaters, and that plan fell through, and then it came out on DVD. Like, oh wow, that's not good.
Yeah, that was a quick to DVD movie. Oh man. All right, Thomas. We're gonna wrap this up. That's gonna be it for episode. What is it, episode 40?
Episode 40.
I think it was a good one, man.
An Amazon dozen.
I'll see. I'll talk to you next week. I'm not going to talk to you before then.
No, I think we should maintain the distance that we have for the time being.
All right. I'm Eric Van Johnson.
And I'm Tom Rideout.
Keep it ugly.